When we arrived in the States, the first Christmas we ever had here, it snowed and we were mesmerized. It's very apropos that as musicians, we would celebrate this season. We took the film crew from Unsung Hero and we put them in the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. It was the last show of the tour, 12,000 folks in attendance. And we captured this cinematic concert experience.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. You guys really do give your all on tour performing, and everyone is going to get a chance to see it with A Drummer Boy Christmas in theaters now. Why did you guys decide that this was the tour to put on film and in theaters?
That's a good question. Well, we love Christmas, right? We love the Christmas story. We love these incredibly nostalgic, beautiful Christmas songs. Even being from Australia, where Christmas falls in the summer, but we've adopted a lot of your Northern Hemisphere wintry songs and tradition, which is very confusing for young lads. Songs like, chestnuts roasting on an open fire. You're like, in Australia in the summer, if there's a bushfire, you should just run. You shouldn't write a song about it. But when we arrived in the States, the first Christmas we ever had here, it snowed and we were mesmerized. And so it's very apropos that as musicians, we would celebrate this season by going on tour. The only trouble is that the season is so short that you can only play about 10 or 12 shows before it's all over. And therefore, you end up upsetting like 3/4 of the United States because you can't get there, or Canada or the UK. And so towards the end of last year, we'd finished producing Unsung Hero. It was yet to be released, but we took the film crew from Unsung Hero and we put them in the Toyota Center in Houston, Texas. It was the last show of the tour, 12,000 folks in attendance. And we captured this cinematic concert experience. It's also the last arena show that we knew we would be doing for the foreseeable future. We're only doing theater residencies this year, and we don't have any plans to do any Christmas shows next year. And so it just seemed like the right moment to for the first time to fully cinematically capture our live experience. And I'm really proud because Mariah, my wife, came to me after we'd watched a screener, and she said, I think I prefer this to your actual live show. So I was sort of insulted and encouraged all at the same time.
If you had to choose one standout song from A Drummer Boy Christmas that is your favorite to perform live, which one would that be?
Obviously, the most dramatic and theatrical is the namesake of A Drummer Boy Christmas, the little drummer boy. It's flying through the air, it's snow falling, it's drums, it's my godson Phoenix coming up and playing. It's just sort of overwhelming visually, sonically, sentimentally. But that seems too on the nose for today. So I'll give you another one. Silent Night. I've always loved Silent Night. There's such, so often when I was growing up, the church I used to go to would sing that song during the carols by candlelight moment. And I just was always so mesmerized by the meaning and, the idea of Jesus being the light of the world and with this candle in hand. And so for the cinematic concert experience, if you can picture it, we're elevated about 40 feet in the air, Luke and myself and the musicians in the middle of the arena. And to do a safe carols by candlelight, we ask everyone to turn their phones, flashlights on. So you have 12,000 flashlights on in the arena. And it's just this mind-bending moment. There's this mirror ball above us that's just shooting shards of light all through the arena, and they're holding their lights, and you're singing these meaningful words about God coming to earth. And it's probably emotional sort of, if Drummer Boy is the theatrical centerpiece of the night, then Silent Night would be kind of the emotional heart, spiritual center of the night. And so I'm gonna go, so it's not on the nose, I'm gonna go with Silent Night.
Christmas is such a great time to create memories. What
Mm.
is one of your favorite Christmas memories that you have?
And interestingly enough, you might know this because of your advocacy for Unsung Hero, the movie. But like I mentioned, when we were in Australia, we made such a song and dance about Santa Claus, uh, and we loved Santa Claus. And the only issue is, you know, Australia is a very moderate climate, not only in the summer but just in general. So by and large, we don't have chimneys, which creates a bit of a problem for Santa because there's no way to get in our houses, and you can't put the stockings on the mantle because you have no mantle. So the way we adjusted in Australia is we would put our stockings or pillowcase or something, we would put it on the end of the bed, and Santa would sneak in the night and he would fill up the the stocking at the end of the bed. Well, fast forward to when we moved to the United States, the first Christmas we were here, we were on the kind of the poverty level. And we had no car, we had no furniture, we had no way for our little sister to be born in a hospital, we had no insurance, the list goes on. And I remember vividly mum coming to me. I was shy of 10 years old, but she came and said, "Hey, um, Santa's not going to be able to give us gifts this year." And I just remember being very shaken by the concept. It was like Santa's not dictated to by our financial situation. And I just had this undying faith. Like he's going to pull through, he's going to figure it out. And sure enough, Santa Claus had some help. A local first grade school class found out that we were going to be able to give each other gifts. And so they went to mum and said, make a list of every gift your child wants and or needs in that case. And that Christmas we had more presents. It was such an oxymoron because we had no really, car or furniture, but we had more gifts that year than ever. And it was so magical that even in this time of being seeing my parents so stressed and so out of sorts that God and that Santa would still show up for us.
I actually saw Unsung Hero 4 or 5 times in theaters, two or
Wow.
three times out of theaters, and then I'm watching it again with my family this Christmas. I'm so excited. I love that movie. Now,
Thank
I know
you.
you guys are working on another movie. Or will you also be starring in that one?
To be determined at some level, but the conversation is I will be on screen in some way. Yeah, I'll say this, we love one of the things we love about filmmaking is sharing uh, about the power of a woman. And so if you go back to the first film we did or were a part of was a film called Priceless, which was really a human trafficking relief independent film that circled around these two young girls that had gotten thrown into this world of trafficking. And then Unsung Hero really being about our mum and our sister. And so whatever that next film is, which I know more than you do, and will continue to know more than you do for the moment, it will be the two things I can tell you is it will be really centered around a female protagonist, and it will be on sort of an epic scale. So more to come on that. Mm,
You guys have been performing together since you were young
yeah.
with your sister on tour. So I heard a story that I'm hoping you can clear up.
All
So
right. I'm so interested.
a little birdie told me about a time when you and your brother were young and performing with your sister on tour, and one brother kind of I maybe got lost in the performance, was really into it, and accidentally hit the other brother in the head, and the other brother had to get stitches because of this performance. Is this true? Do you remember this?
Wow. This sounds a little bit like urban legend to me.
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly that moment. I will say this. We have, out of intensity and sort of losing yourself on stage, we have been very bloodied and we have torn ACLs and and that was on the Rebecca tour. We our brother Daniel was performing, and he had this moment where he would jump off this platform over the bass player, and he landed on the side of the stage and tore his ACL because of the way he landed. And then I have, with orchestra cymbals, speaking of gashes in the head, I have an orchestra cymbal and just sort of sliced my head open, which did require some stitches. So staples, to be precise, is what they were. So yeah, I think it's probably an amalgamation of a couple stories there, Kaylee, but yeah.
Me and my drum.
If you enjoy videos that follow your values like ours and you want to help us continue, go to movieguide.org/donate, because we're actually a nonprofit. You may not know that, but we're working in Hollywood every day to help families have more choices that follows their values. And also subscribe right now.